Here. Stupid fucking tic-tac noises. So this gal's been following my account for quite a while. And she posted this shit, which means she's not paying attention. And I'm probably going to remove her. We'll see. But, yeah, as it reads, can anyone explain why our military is here? And you see Africa. And then it says, when the invasion is here, and it's loosely pointing to above Baja and Texas and New Mexico, the border of Mexico and the United States, which used to be Mexico. It used to be fucking Mexico. I grew up in New Mexico. Yeah. So, first and foremost, it says our military. The military is not our military. This isn't for the people, by the people, and it hasn't been for a very long time. The military is the military-industrial complex, which relates to the District of Columbia, which relates to the bottom of the trilateral city-states. You see, most people aren't very bright, and they aren't paying attention either to the information that's available to them. The Republic, when it was for the people, by the people, it fell during the Civil War, and it was finalized in 1871 when the Organic Act created the District of Columbia. That turned America into all capital letters, America, meaning it became a corporation. And by 1913, the Federal Reserve was rolled out. Was it the Federal Reserve? Is that what I'm trying to say? No. Unconstitutional taxes was rolled out. Well, it's the same difference in many ways. Sorry, I just woke up. It was rolled out, and it was under the pretense of being temporary. However, clearly it wasn't. Temporary and voluntary, and that made anyone and everyone who identifies as a citizen a debt slave. And it's been more of the same ever since, because people aren't willing to do the right thing, draw a line in the sand, and change things for the better. Instead, they just kick back, rest on their laurels, and wait for things to get better, which means it's been exponentially getting worse from that point onward. Most people don't understand the trilateral city-states, and this is terribly important. Anybody who's been supporting the military in any form or way is quite literally supporting the enemy and supporting our masters. I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but then again, no one would encourage people to buy into the military, which means you identify as government property and you consciously sign yourself over to being government property. When in fact, you and I are already debt slaves. We're already chattel. We're already a means to an end. We put bread on our masters' tables. And most people don't realize that. Most people will argue with you if you tell them that they have masters, simply because you can't give them a specific name and handler. And yet they pay unconstitutional taxes. They pay, the racket that is car insurance. They work 5 days a week and or more these days because the blue collar, the middle class is being done away with. It's basically dead and done. And you and I saw to that because complacency got us this far. We maintain one another's cageless prisons. We make all of this horse shit possible. Here's another little tidbit. The beginning of July, our masters rolled out Fed Now. This is how you and I are working towards social credit slavery, and most people don't realize it. In the same month, July 24th, our masters rolled out WorldCoin with a digital incentive, and most idiots bought into it. What was taking place during July of 2023? Also, keep in mind, it's still 2023 right now, and that won't roll over until March 21st, approximately. But most people assume that it's 2024 because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're not willing to do the right thing, and they have no idea what reflects reality because they've never fucking looked into it. But what was taking place back in July of 2023? You had an overwhelming amount of people in the quote-unquote truth community jerking each other off in the endless circle jerk, talking about the sound of Freemasons. Many of the same people were also babbling about lizard people on a plane, or a lizard person on a plane, thanks to a CIA asset leaving a little video online for all the morons to repost. But as always, What the fuck do I know? And why the hell isn't this gallery? Why isn't she fucking paying attention? That's the thing. I've rattled off the Republic fell during the Civil War and was finalized in 1871, etc., etc., etc. And that means the military's garbage. It's not ours. So anybody with a brain in their head would not have reposted this. They wouldn't recirculate the propaganda if they knew what they were talking about. And again, this is information that's available to the general public. People who are doing this are doing a disservice to you and I alike. And again, this also lends itself to complacency got us this far. I'll drive one more point home that I say often. Do you remember that little film from 1999 called The Matrix, where they state anybody can be a fucking agent? Most of the people you bump into online and in life, etc., anybody who tells you voting matters and shit like that, they are working for our masters. They don't have a clue what's going on. Also, look up the title of Nobility Act. Presidents can't hold official titles such as Baron and Duke because America is a vassal colony, a crown colony. Under the crown, under the UK, specifically the city, which is the banking financial center and the top of the food chain in terms of the trilateral city-states. Most people don't know that because they're going to tell you that the Vatican is, because they've been trained to repeat that thanks to shills or, controlled opposition assets like Jordan Maxwell. The Vatican is the middle of the trilateral city-states. And when you hear tri, that denotes three, not America and, Italy or Roma. The Vatican, 2. There's a third step, and it's the money. Follow the bees to the honey. The same should apply to money. Use your brain, assholes.